First, the Senate will hold a hearing on the For the People Act. We know it as H.R. 1. They just want to dress it up with a nice name. That's happening tomorrow. This is the bill that the left is portraying as the only hope to save American democracy. But in reality, it's just going to undermine election integrity and probably keep Democrats in power forever. Sean, what are the odds that this is going to pass?
I think this is the question that has kind of been dominating is if the filibuster stays in place, all of these liberal policies are going to continue to pile up as the House sends them over. For right now, I think we're safe. They need 10 Republican votes. They might pick off one or two. The Susan Collins of the world, we saw her vote for Javier Becerra last week and some other votes that have called into question her Republican standing. But I think right now we're safe that this thing is going to stay stalled in the Senate and not move forward. But I'm telling you, Erin, one of these days, they're going to stop and kill the filibuster because they know too much of this progressive agenda is getting backed up.
Well, let's hope you're wrong. Yeah. But for both of our sakes.
I agree.
Right. So another big headline today. Democrats are eyeing the kitchen sink of progressive goodies in their next big bill. And reports show it comes with a major price tag. Nothing major. Just kidding. A whopping $3 to $4 trillion price tag.
That's unbelievable. On top of the $2 trillion COVID package that we passed last week. And, you know, Erin, I don't know about you, but when I think of infrastructure, what comes to mind is like roads and bridges, that kind of stuff, right? That's infrastructure, right? But just like the COVID bill wasn't really about COVID. It
was about pork.
Exactly. Yeah, and it was just, we put a nice thing. We call it a COVID bill. Only 9% of it was for COVID, but it's a COVID bill. This is an infrastructure bill, meaning it really doesn't have that much to do about infrastructure, but we're going to call it an infrastructure bill and blow $3 trillion. It includes structural changes, if we want to use infrastructure terms, that President Biden campaigned on, like inequality, racial equity, climate, industrial policy. That's $3 to $4 trillion going to that kind of stuff, not to roads and bridges, which in itself would be a big problem. But all of this is after they did the damage that they did. No one read the first bill. Somehow you think they're going to read this one. And the left really just thinks that money falls from the sky. The idea that we're spending $5 trillion in the course of a week is insane. This is something that China's taken the loans out for, and our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren are going to be paying this off for quite some time.
I mean, the Democrats are literally spending like money grows on trees, and it's really sad and sick to watch because it's going to cause inflation, and there's no way that we're actually going to pay for this. These people have been in Washington too long because they have no concept of what it's like to earn $1 and actually spend $1.
No, I mean, I remember when $1 trillion or a couple $1 trillion was a big deficit.
Yeah.
We spent $5.5 trillion on COVID in the past 24 months. Now we're going to throw another $3 trillion on top of that. This is, I think that people are so used to and getting numb to this that they don't get how big of a hole we're getting dug into.
It's true. And if that wasn't enough, Biden is looking to hike taxes. He's going after Americans who are making more than $400,000 a year. I bet you that gets knocked down to $200,000. I guarantee it.
Oh, they got to.
Of course. And the New York Post says if Democrats get their way, it would, quote, put the total cumulative tax rate on high incomes in the city at more than 63%.
Yeah, well, let's just be clear, because I know sometimes people go, well, $400,000, you know, we do well, but we're not at that level. The problem is that for a lot of these businesses, we talk about this over and over again for different aspects of the economy or legislation, that hits small businesses. Right. So a lot of these LLCs, they file on their individual taxes, but that's what's going to hire another person or buy another thing for the, you know, piece of machinery for a business. So this is a big deal. But, you know, the funny thing is, while the president's continuing to put the country more in debt, it seems like the sub-theme, by the way, is that the vice president, Kamala Harris, is getting ready to take over as president. I know this sounds crazy, but a brand new leaked email revealed that the Biden White House has directed all agencies in the government to refer to the administration as the Biden-Harris administration in place of what would normally just be the Biden administration. And the directive apparently came from very high up in the White House communications team. The word Biden-Harris administration now appears on all of the 15 executive departments. Erin, I know a lot of people will say this is petty and this is making a big deal out of it, but this is really unprecedented.
I mean, it's truly unprecedented. It is a big deal, and it's something that should be taken very seriously because it's a way, and President Trump has spoken about this extensively. He really has.
Yeah.
This is a way just to usher out Biden and usher in Harris. They're just sort of warming it up for us.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly the point, right? They're subtly kind of introducing her taking foreign calls. They're introducing the name, the branding, because this is what they anticipate.
And as I briefly mentioned, our former President Trump actually hinted at all of this last night. He said that VP Harris is going to take over, and he spoke to Newsmax last night, and he's bringing up, how with him, the 25th Amendment. Let's take a listen.
A lot of people said when they brought it out, because it takes a while to institute, and when they brought it out, they said they really mean it for Biden, just in case he gets in.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're now trying to figure out, where this 25th Amendment came into play. It started with President Trump, the idea of the cabinet signing this. I don't really think that that's what they're planning for, but they are planning in some way to get Harris in there. Whether or not they're setting it up to run or whether they don't think Biden's going to make it all 4 years, I don't know. But it's interesting because at the same time they're doing this, the vice president's getting a lot of heat. Check out this Harris tweeted this picture of herself yesterday landing in Florida. Now, I know you're from down there. It says, "Help is here." Erin, I don't know that exactly comforts the people that live around you in Florida.
Well, wait, I would like to know what the vice president is intending to help the Floridians with. Our economy has been open for a year.
Yep.
Schools have been open for a year. Floridians are thriving. Florida is a red state. The scariest words that I think Reagan had said in the English language are, "I'm here for the government, I'm here to help." I think Floridians are more likely to say, "Don't tread on me."
If you want to help, stay in Washington.
Yes,
but
please.
then this other thing that kind of got a lot of attention is she was asked as she was headed off to the trip about visiting the border, and she laughed. Take a listen.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again. Yeah.
I'm not sure that, considering the situation, I know they don't want to call it a crisis. I don't think that that's funny. And I know that is sort of probably a nervous thing, but I don't think she did herself any favors to the administration, any favors to the Biden-Harris administration by making light of the situation. Either the right or the left probably wasn't exactly happy with that.
No, not today. There's nothing funny about that. In fact, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick had a strong reaction to this laughing on the border crisis. Please take a listen.
Yesterday, there was a little girl that drowned in the river. Kamala Harris must think that's amusing to her. She must think that the sex offenders who are coming into this country, who will be coming to communities all over this country to assault children, is funny to her. This is not a laughing matter for our country or for these people or for future victims.
Yeah, obviously the border, a big deal right now, and making light of it, it doesn't help, and it doesn't look well, especially when they're getting hammered for not even acknowledging that there's a crisis on the border.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.